Hi guys, and welcome to day 9 of Bookmas. I know my days have been crazy all over the place, but it's just because I filmed, I batch filmed a few days on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then I decided to change up the order in which I'm uploading these videos. So today is actually day 9, and if you guys are new, I'm Tess, and I post a bunch of different content here on YouTube, and today I'm going over my 2025 reading wrap-up. I read 19 books, which I'm proud of myself for that. My goal was 36, but I also spent like half the year in a reading slump just because like mental health and everything with stress from work, and also just the fact that I just spent half the year in a reading slump. I did a video at the end of 2024, and that definitely drove me straight into a reading slump because I read like 12 books in 12 days. And it's not that I read 12 books in 12 days, because I can do that, but it was just the books that I read. Like those 12 books that I read in those 12 days. That kind of sent me into a slight burnout, just because of the cringy content that was in them. Made for an entertaining vlog, but also burned me the fuck out, so. Anyway, yeah, we got 19 books, most of which are physical ones, which I'm pretty proud of. I did make a little teeny tiny dent into my ebook TBR as well, which is mostly Kindle, and I think I have one Nook book on there. So anyway guys, here is my 2025 wrap up. I have it written down in here with each month and which books I finished. I did go from February to May without finishing a book, which is why my count was kind of low. I wanted to hit 20, and I was really busy on New Year's Eve, so I wasn't able to really read anything because I was editing videos and I had to work. And then I did my 6th annual New Year's stream on Twitch, which you guys don't follow my Twitch channel. I do a bunch of gaming on there. I play things like I was playing The Sims 2 last night. I do a lot of Sims 4 content, Minecraft, Among Us, American Truck Sim, just a bunch of games. I also streamed Apex Legends the other day for the first time. That was a lot of fun, even though I literally spent half the freaking stream in a queue. EA's matchmaking. Please get better. Here we go with the books. So I'm going to start off with the ones I finished in January, right before my reading slump. I kind of read a few, and then sporadically I was reading it like a very little bit at a time. So the first book I finished in 2025 was How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I don't actually know if this is going to show up, so I'm hoping it does. So I'm hoping this shows up. If not, I'll just put a cover up here for you guys. But this is a Christmas time romance about a girl who goes to a small town and stuff like that. It was just kind of like very Hallmark vibes. It was super cute. I don't remember too much about it because I picked it up on Christmas in 2024, and then I finished it last in January. But it was still super cute though, so I liked it. The next books that I have are from All He'll Ever Be by Willow Winters. This is an anthology of 4 books set in the Merciless world. So we have Merciless, which is the first one, Heartless is the second, and then I read those in 2024, and then I finished with Breathless and Endless that I finished last January. And this follows the same couple. We have Carter and Arya. Carter is a mafia boss, and Arya's father is also is a rival mafia boss, so he kidnaps her and holds her kind of hostage against her will while trying to work out with her father. And it was really good. Definitely dark. Check the trigger warnings. As always with dark romance, always check triggers. But it was still really good though. I enjoyed it. I think I gave these like 4 stars. February, March, April, May. Didn't finish any books because reading slumps. And then the next book I finished was also one by Megan Quinn. I actually started this one. I started it like the day, MLB opening day. It was like the end of March. And I didn't finish it until June because my reading slump and everything. So this is The Locker Room by Megan Quinn. Again, yeah, that one was really good. It was a baseball romance. And if you guys know me, you know I love baseball. I'm a huge Phillies fan. I have an old Phillies hat. It is covered in dust. I think it still lights up, actually. Yeah, you can kind of see like it like lights up a little bit. I'm surprised it still does because this thing is like 15 plus years old. I think I got this in like 2009. Anyway, that's the only book I finished in June because I was coming out of my reading slump at that time. In July, I read Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I think this is one that I also was trying to read throughout the year but didn't really have any success in it. So I finally finished this one in July and I loved it. I love this series so much. This is the second book in the Natural series and is basically a young adult Criminal Minds. Phenomenal book, phenomenal series. I have the third one on my TBR. I've had on my TBR for like ever and I just never got around to it because I'm such a mood reader, so hopefully I'll get to it very soon. One of the most anticipated releases of 2025 was Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I actually went to the midnight premiere of this book in Orlando, so I was working that night, and I think the event started at 9, and I got off work like at 9 o'clock almost exactly, so I ended up going straight to Barnes & Noble from work just to kind of party with some other nerds. I met some really, really wonderful people over there, and I follow them on Goodreads now and Instagram, but this is just like the regular special edition, so it has like the really pretty dragons on the edge too, and I love that. So Killer Instinct I gave 5 stars to. This one I gave 4.5, because I do love the story of Violet and Xaden, but it's just like some elements of each book I'm just not really particularly vibing with, and that's just normal. So I really do love the series though. So August I read 4 books. I was quite proud of myself. It was also the first episode of Roll for Reads. So that is a series I do every other month where I let my D20 determine my reads for 2 months. And this is like the first go around for it. And I tried to read 5 books, but I only read 4, but still fine. So the first one I read in August was Warcross by Marie Lu. This is about a girl who is a hacker, and she illegally hacks into a worldwide championship of a game called Warcross. And the game maker actually kind of recruits her to Tokyo to try to help solve a gambling crime or something like that. It's really, really good. If you like sci-fi and you like video games, definitely go for this one. And then in between Warcross and Wildcard, I also read The Upper World by Femi Feduba. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. But anyway, this is a book about, this is like a dual timeline book too. It's a dual timeline dual POV book. So we follow, I believe his name is Enzo. Esso. He is a tutor, and you actually follow like the past scenes are him as a student, and then the present scenes are him as a tutor and also a girl named Ria. And there's actually this whole other world that happens when like that someone's able to see when something traumatizing happens to them. So Esso was like hit by a car, and he's able to see a different world, and it's just super good. There's a second book in the series, and I really want to get it, so I'm going to be reading that this year possibly. And then I also read Wildcard by Marie Lu. This is the sequel to Warcross. This goes more into redoing the tournament that happened in the first book, and also figuring out exactly who Hideo is and trying to do all that. So I'm not going to spoil anything about the series, but this is a phenomenal duology if you like that. And then the final book that I read in August was A Touch of Moonlight by Yafa Santos, and this one was super good. This one is about a girl named Larimar, and she is a brand manager for a bakery chain, and she ends up falling in love with a guy who is also a baker, and he owns an independent bakery. And her bakery chain ends up going right near where his bakery is, and she is very conflicted about what she should do because she's falling in love with him, and she also really loves her job. So she was kind of trying to balance being in love with somebody like almost like a rival, but not really a rival. Just like the company she works for sees him as competition. And it was super, super cute too. It's a nice short little romance. Then in September, I read 3 books. So the first book that I finished in September was The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one is the bridge novel between the Inheritance Games trilogy and the Grandest Game. And this follows Grayson and Jameson, and they just have to follow various mysteries and puzzles and everything. I think Grayson's was more about his sister, and Jameson was more about his father. And this was super good. Still think Avery chose the wrong brother, but that's fine. And then I also read Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the 3rd book in the When in Rome series. And this one follows Emily, who is a teacher, and also follows Jack, who's also a teacher. And it's kind of almost like workplace rivals to lovers book. And this was super, super cute. I loved this one. This one is the spicy one in the series. The first 2 are closed door. This one actually has a little bit of spice toward the end of it. So if you're sensitive about spice, be wary of this one. And the 4th one I think is out now. I think it was out in the beginning of December. And the final book that I finished in September is Finale by Stephanie Garber. And obviously there was a trend here. I have not uploaded this video yet. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that later this month, where I'm doing a series I'm in the middle of. And that's what these books were for. This is the last book in the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. It basically follows your sister Scarlett and Tella, and this one is dual POV, I think. And this one was super good. Also, my book is very dusty. But this one I think is probably one of my favorite YA trilogies, because it was just super good, super cute. It was a story that I hadn't really read before about like carnivals and games and everything, so I really like that about this book. So the only book I managed to finish was The Rogue Thorn by Lily Mead, and this one I read like literally like Halloween because it was super good. It's Scooby-Doo. I mean, hello, Scooby-Doo. But it is about the Hex Girls, and they move to a new town after something happens with one of the families. You're actually following Thorn's perspective in this, and she kind of gets a little close to Velma, which I think is super cute, and I kind of ship that actually. I do ship that, so this one was cute. Alright, so in November I read 2 Kindle books, and the first one is Vampiricide by Kristen Kova. This one is the 3rd book in the Shadow Order Vampire series, and we're following Karina as she goes through the layers of hell with her friends and everything. And this one is the spicy one. My biggest complaint about the first 2 books in the series was the lack of spice, and she made up for it with this book. I loved it. Loved it. These are very short, like they're less than 300 pages, so they're pretty short for a fantasy series, but there's so much that happens in them, and there's not really much downtime, so I definitely recommend them if you want just quick Kindle reads. I don't think they're on Kindle Limited. They might be. I'd have to check. But they weren't very expensive. I think they were like $3 or $5 a piece on Amazon when I checked it, like when I bought these, so I didn't get the 4th one because there is a 4th book in the series that I've not read yet. The second book that I read in November is called The Cat of Amontillado by S.M. Rain, and this one is really cute. This is a fantasy series. She has like a 50-something book world where this book takes place, but this is also like the start of a series within the world, so you don't have to read anything before this one. But this is the first in a series about a cat named Mr. Poe, and I love like cute cat books, like cute cat mysteries. If you watched my ebook TBR, you notice that I probably have like a half dozen cat books on there because I think cats make such cute protagonists for like fantasy books and like mysteries and stuff like that. So this one follows a black cat named Mr. Poe, and this is like the introduction to him as a character in like within the world, and then he has his own little series. I'm not sure how many books are on there, but I'll look it up for you guys. In December I read 3 books. One of them I was definitely very proud of myself for finishing because it was a little bit longer than the rest of these. I have to continue this on my phone because my memory card ran out of memory on my camera, so I'm filming the rest of this on my phone. But fortunately we're nearing the end of the video. So the second to last book that I finished in December was Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and this is the first book in the Fae and Alchemy series. We're following Saris as she ends up stealing something from a royal guard, and Kingfisher saves her and takes her to a different world, and it's just super good. I loved this book, and Brimstone is like right at the top of my TBR for this month, so I'm really excited to get to that one because I loved it. My cousin and I were gushing about it and gushing about Kingfisher at the Christmas party last month. And also these edges are really beautiful. Like I was just gonna buy the regular paperback, but when I saw the silver edges, and I think this is the Walmart edition because I saw one at Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago that was black. So I think this is the Walmart edition because that's where I got it. And it's just, it looks so pretty, and especially with Brimstone being a black dust jacket with bronze accents. This is super good. And then the last book that I finished in 2025 was The 100 Day 21 by Cass Morgan. It is the second book in the 100 series, where basically, if you're not familiar with the show, there's like a huge explosion on, like huge like nuclear explosions on Earth, and everybody is sent to live in ships in space, and they send 100 teenagers who were guilty of crimes. So they send 100 of them down to Earth to see if Earth is habitable again. And they find that there's an Earthborn girl that tries to help them. And I really want to get to book 3 because that was super good. So anyway, guys, those are the 19 books I read in 2025. Let me know if you've read any of them. And if you did, let me know how you think of them. Or if you want to read any of them, absolutely. I'm always welcome, I always welcome discussions either in the comments or on Discord or on Instagram. Feel free to DM me there or post on the server, whatever. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 10 of Bookmas.